All right, welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching TV47 Breakfast. Wednesday kama kawaida, tunaongelea mambo na roho. We're talking Relationship Wednesday today. And this morning, are we too emotionally damaged to sustain healthy relationships? That is the conversation and our topic of the day. What do you think? Are we too emotionally damaged to sustain healthy relationships? Talk to us on our socials, TV47 Kenya, on Facebook and on YouTube, on X at TV47 Digital. You can tag me at @_Dida. Our WhatsApp line is also active 24/7 0793 267 279. Send us a voice note or a video of yourself. Ukituambia, unadhani we are too emotionally damaged to sustain healthy relationships, ama tunaongea tu jaba? Tuongeleshe tafadhali. Tuambie tu kunaendaje. We have Yvette Ngasie in studio with us. Good to have you again, Yvette. Unasikiaje kwaje?
Good. Yeah. I feel very expectant for today.
Yeah.
You know, matters of the heart are topics I'm usually very eager to talk about.
You're a lover girl, eh?
I am a lover girl. I love love.
Uko na mtu?
Unfortunately, I'm still waiting upon the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they say clock it. So
Yes.
we'll clock it for you until you find someone.
Amen.
You know, that's the beauty of Relationship Wednesday. Now that she has declared that kuna room for auditions, then Happy New Year, JD.
Happy New Year to you too.
Mimi
I don't know.
naona ni kama nakuona leo.
Sijui mwaka yako imeanza lini, so you know, the people whose years start on their birthdays.
Yeah.
The people whose years start on the calendar year, so I don't know, but Happy New Year to you too. Thank you for having me here.
Yes.
I'm happy to be
I
here.
see we are matching some shades of blue.
Yeah, some shades of blue, and I'm happy to hear Yvette is anangoja kuonekana.
When you do, please invite us to eat pilau with Jeffrey. Bramwell, good morning. Thank you so much for coming again.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Nice to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
I'm happy to be here.
You uko na mtu?
I'll not respond to that again.
Wacha nikwambie kama mtu wako ana watch, wacha tu nimwambie say that's a red flag. About red flags on this show. She cannot claim her life. She's single. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I fear. Daktari, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Dr. Julius Kimani is here with us. Asante sana for making time.
Thank you. I agree with you.
Yes.
Unajua kama status haijakuwa declared. Na yeye anafikiria ile side yako ndani.
Yes.
That's already a danger one.
Danger zone.
But maybe you see anaweza kuaja yule aja accept. Kwa hivyo he's still safe.
Hakuna. I'm sure kwenye huyo msichana yuko anajua yeye Bramwell sasa ndio mtu. Kwanza anajua Bramwell ako kwa TV, ana watch ameamka. Ananiambia analinga na affair. Hakuna. That lady, wherever she is, I'm sorry, but she's single. Let's get into a discussion of the day. Are we too emotionally damaged to sustain healthy relationships? Yvette, what do you think?
On my end, I would say it's not really the case. I would say we are not too emotionally damaged to sustain a relationship because I believe unresolved wounds and unresolved pain or past traumas which are not communicated are the ones which form a barrier now in the relationship. But once addressed, they can actually, the relationship can actually continue. Because one thing about love, good love heals you. It makes you whole. But if you are able to communicate from the beginning, yeah, that's what
good love heals you.
Yeah.
Unajua sasa tuko na gwiji wa mapenzi hapa. Dr. Julius Kimani, tunasema jamani, next time I will remember. Ama daktari, you can remind me, nikuje na trophy naweka hapo nasema Dr. Julius Kimani for 25 years in marriage.
25.
When Yvette Amaza akatuambia, you know, when it comes to love, like the relationship expert that she is. JD, what do you think? Are we too emotionally damaged to sustain healthy relationships?
Mwecheche. Ni mbaya. You know, we are beings of learning. And our level of damage or lack of thereof depends on the level of exposure. So if we were exposed to what we can term as bad relationships, we start anticipating that every relationship, so long as it fits a particular characteristic, it will end up having that particular quality in mind. So if you are exposed to your first relationship and the second one was the same and the third one was the same, it ends up in forming a mindset of how relationships are. If seme ulikula dust at a particular point in time.
Dust is constant.
Of course. Now, the thing is, the second relationship you'll go to, the expectations will be lower. Number one. Number two, let's be honest that we are meeting people who have different expectations of love. There are people who trauma bonded with their parents. And remember, our relationships are usually an extension of whatever relationship we had with our parents. They are our first modelers of love. They're the ones who show us how love is and love should be.
What happens to those ones who grew up with one parent? People who one of the parents died, ama wengine walienda kununua mkate wajai rudi. What happens to those people?
So, ndio nasema, you see the model of love. You see, there are people who, if a parent died, they had to step up and get into a particular role. Yeah. If it was the father who died and this is a boy, this boy had to grow up faster than this one who had support from both parents or both systems. So you'd find that this one's idea and interpretation of what love is different from a person who has received support. Look at also cases of abuse. Yeah, there are people, and sadly enough, there are people who believe that mimi usiponitandika unipendi. Unatandika nani? Unatandika nani? Unitandiki unatandika nani? Yeah. So you see that it depends with our level of exposure out here.
And you know, I'm still wondering, sababu anasema for somebody you have to step up. Some of us, you know, are last borns. So labda mzazi mmoja alikufa, amesema relationship sometimes our parents model it for us. Sasa we grow up knowing what relationships should look like. Akasema, you know, for some, they have to step up. You know, if at all my parents gave birth to 8 kids and I'm the last, I didn't have to step up because there are people who stepped up for me. There's not that model of love that I need to work with. Dr. I would love for you to chime in on this. Because now I don't have that model of, you know, how a relationship should look like from my parents' lenses. So what happens to me? How do I interpret and view relationships?
Now, one thing I like what he has said, that parents, of course, model. And sometimes they mess it up. But we also don't just pick from parents alone. We pick from the society. Right now, there are people who are watching this program and they're learning. So they are picking, and some of them, by the time probably the program will be over, they'll have their healing. Even in that last born place, you'll find there's a person who steps up to become like the parent. It could be the firstborn, the guy, it could be a man, it could be a lady.
Yes.
They still model somehow the way the relationship is supposed to be. And there are people who have become very stable in their relationships because they're emotionally stable and they had lost their parents. But the bigger siblings handle it so well that they actually respect them like parents. And there are also those who are totally damaged because the ones that stepped up to fill the gap for the parents did it in a wrong way. So when we talk about emotional damage, I will say every one of us has some level of damage. Just like everybody, if you were to undress, we would find there's a scar you have. There's somewhere you fell, but some of those scars do not affect how you perform in life.
Yeah.
But there are those scars that can be too deep, that can cause you not to operate at a certain level. And so, as we have a conversation here, we are looking at the level of damage and what caused that damage. Because some people they got into a wrong relationship, it damaged them. Some of them were raised in abusive families, it damaged them. Some of them, it is out of what they have seen in life and they have perceived wrongly that has caused that damage. So we have to sit and actually look at all different dimensions and see how can we reduce the impact of this emotional damage in a relationship.
You know what happens to that older sibling who steps up? Yeye sasa ana step up, ndio sasa the younger sibling, I learn from them how a relationship dynamic should look like. What happens to the older sibling? You know, we rarely talk about them. We rarely give them credit. And then they're the ones who grew up with a lot of trauma. You get that they bottle up some sort of anger, wanafika kwa relationship zao. They don't, in fact, once they leave their house, their home, they don't call back home, they don't check up on other siblings, they don't want, you know, you as younger siblings to be visiting their places. Then what happens to these ones who now we just put this heavy responsibility, heavy weight on them that they have to model how a relationship should look like for us? See, it's 2026. So what should we be doing differently for these older siblings? I know we are digressing and we will get to the conversation of the day, but let's first of all just put that out of the way.
I think one thing, I will say there are two things that can happen. You know, as an older sibling, somehow, God has also wired us as human beings to be able to cope with some situations. That is why a child can be left by maybe a mother gives birth and the parent dies. But somehow that child grows into being a stable person. So there is the God aspect into the whole thing. But at the same time, the position or the pressure that is placed on that top position can affect the way somebody relates with others. And that is where you find sibling positioning determines a lot of how they deal with others. For example, and there's a theory that we were studying, it's called Bowen's family theory system. And it talks about the position, for example, a firstborn. Assuming he's a firstborn and Yvette is a firstborn. Now, he's thrown into a position of leadership by force because he's always told, when you firstborn, behave well. Others are looking at you. So he has to, let's say, man up. Yvette, on the other side, is a firstborn in a family as a lady. Now, these two people meet. They know that they are leaders. Now, having these people to cope up with one submitting can be very challenging, unless they are really prepared. Maybe they are firstborns. Unless they are really prepared emotionally and through counseling to be able to handle that position. Otherwise, there is a likelihood of a lot of fights because of their position, because nobody wants to be lower than the other ones. So those are some of the challenges that come. But understanding that position prepares you. It's like, you know, I will have to, kichwa yangu ni ngumu kidogo, kwa hivyo nikiingia kwa hii ndoa, I will have to adjust a little few things. So it is... ule mpole,
and then they clear them. Sisi hii tunasikia huyo, amekaliwa na bibi. Bramwell, are we to emotionally damage to sustain healthy relationships? Let's start from that point.
In one way, yes. In another way as well, I'll say we have a room to do something. I'll start by saying we are not just emotionally damaged, but also we are emotionally unprepared. Whereas you find a situation whereby people don't know how to handle some situations. I'll start with where Daktari has left. When we grow up, most of the time, for all of us, it's our first-hand experience living in this world and experience different things. But you come to realize that most of the time, we rarely do get people to guide us through different things. How do we react? How do we receive some messages, and how do we handle them? You'll come to realize that most people don't know how to accept no. If I come to ask you for something, maybe for a date or something, or for a hand in marriage, then you say no. Most people don't know how to handle that. So you see, that's emotional unpreparedness. So if we are emotionally unprepared, that's where the damage now comes in. It becomes worse. But if you are prepared, you will learn to have this mind of it's a yes, no, or wait. The same way they always say, if you pray for anything, those who are Christians, they always say, either God will say yes, no, or wait. The right time will come. So if we are having these, we are prepared mentally, it also affects our emotion. So we are ready for anything. So it's we won't find ourselves in a situation whereby we go as if we just on a free ride, then things get us off guard, then we start now reacting. In addition, I will also say the damage is too much because we always inherit it. You'll come to realize that if two parents have issues, let me say they have a family, a good family, then they are married for some years, then they have issues. Most of the time, from my personal experience and what I've seen in the society as well, one parent try to intoxicate the kids against the other one, or to set them against the other one. So these kids grow up without with the damage and the pain and the trauma and all the baggages themselves. So when person B meets this person, they want to like love them, take good care of them, treat them. You find them that they're already damaged, like they are broken, they're just down, man. So what happens is also these inherited hate, traumas, and everything is something we need to consider. So as parents or as every individual, it's a wake-up call to every individual. Let's be first emotionally prepared. Let's learn ourselves so that we don't let the trauma go to the next generation. You can separate, two people can separate, but don't let these go to your kids. In Kiswahili they say fahali wawili wakipigana nyasi ndo wanaumia. So if our kids, or if two parents fight, then these kids see this thing, they inherit the trauma automatically. And
then they carry it on.
Then they carry it on to the next person. So when they come to meet Anne, you are clean, you are healed, wako sawa. Then this person comes with a lot of trauma. They start, I don't know.
And then now they also transfer that trauma on you. And now you also grow up with this trauma. As you move it, you know, another relationship.
Exactly.
Daktari, now let's also hear your opinion on that. Do you think we're too emotionally damaged to sustain healthy relationships? Assume 25 years in, how you're seeing how, you know, the young people are dating nowadays. Do you think we are too emotionally damaged to sustain these healthy relationships? I don't think so. I think we can actually sustain healthy relationships. But how you view it, unatuonaje? How would you rate it?
I will say, emotional damage is depends on an individual. There are people in our age who are very emotionally damaged. And there are also people who are very young, very stable, and others are very emotionally damaged. And as I said, when you talk about damage, it is what happens to you as you're growing up. It can start from the family, it can even start in school, it can start in church, but at the same time, how do you react to that damage? And what I say, especially to the society and those that are getting ready, you need actually, it is only you who can be able to analyze yourself and know what kind of, what is my emotional status. And most of us, unfortunately, we don't. Because maybe you look at a person, JD is handsome, so this is the guy I want. But you probably don't know what JD has gone through. And so you value him at the face level. And when you get into that relationship is when you begin to discover probably he has got his own emotional damages. And that is why I say even every person needs to have a sit down. Just like the way you can sit and check out and feel whether your body is aching. You will know, am I aching emotionally? Because there are signs that will tell you somebody is emotionally damaged. You'll have anger issues. You have too much fear, you have mistrust. That tells you there is an emotional damage. And you actually need to take time and probably sit down with somebody who can help you decipher your emotional damagedness and see whether there can be a repairing of that damage. And I'll give this example. For example, physically you can be playing football and you can break your leg. That means it makes you have an inability. There is a breaking that can make you have an inability never to play again. Now, the way you handle that leg throughout life can either injure it more or you can prevent it from getting injured. So you have to work with an awareness that I had a broken leg.
Or you stop playing.
Or you stop playing completely. So there are some people who don't know. Like what Yvette said, that love heals. Yes, it can heal you, but are you willing to be healed? Because there's a person who had a broken leg, but now instead of even taking care of it and allowing somebody to take care of it, you still keep on hopping on it and jumping everywhere. So you get more wounds. So I will say emotional damage depends on an individual. But it is a challenge for everybody that is listening. Analyze yourself. Because you can even be married for 20 years and you look happy, but you have some damages that has happened even because of that relationship.
Have you experienced that? 25 years?
Of course, let me say this. In every relationship, there are issues.
Yeah.
And there are things that can come to you that can wound you. But at the same time, you can be able to sit down and see. It's just like the way you're in the kitchen and you're making some stuff.
Yeah.
And you cut your finger. Now, that is not a damage. It's an injury. But you heal from it.
Yeah.
But there are others who are making cutting in the kitchen and they cut the entire finger. Now that is what you call a damage. That finger may never be replaced. So we need to know at what particular level, what kind of wounds are coming to you and how do you heal from them.
You've dodged my question, but we will come back to you. You're not running away from us. Yvette, are you firstborn? Niliona daktari akiongelea mambo ya firstborn ukacheka sana.
No, actually I'm not a firstborn, but I have a firstborn who I would say for some time I learned from her a lot. And even when it came to love, at a point, she had to sit me down and teach me that some of her past relationship did not work because not that the man was a problem, because from our family we are only girls. So the man was not a problem, but she was. So she was telling me, Yvette, as you grow, before you enter a relationship, be complete. Be complete. Don't take your aggressions to someone else, because maturity is you accepting that I need help. Maturity is you getting to know yourself first, because before you know another person. Because if you don't know yourself, you will find when you enter a relationship, then you cannot even define yourself or even know why you are there in the first place. And in our generation, I believe people are dating for wrong reasons. You know, you'll hear a young person tell you, I'm just dating for fun, to pass time. Or I'm just dating to get back at this other person who hurt me. Nimonyeshe, by the way, soko kuna watu wengi. You're not the only one. So you hear these terms in our generation. And some people are on social media, they're like, nowadays love is not working. So let me just be in this for fun or to please my desires that I need. But what I would say is, can people learn to address that they are damaged? I love what Daktari said. You should first accept that you need to be healed. You need to be healed, because you're not doing justice to the other party. When you enter a relationship, you're damaged. And you see, because the damaged people, when they're told they're damaged, they're like, no, no way. I'm not the problem.
That's another thing.
He is the problem.
Do they always know that they're damaged? Damaged people?
Not all. Not all. I wanted to address something. What happens?
Before I lose this point, you know, when Yvette was speaking, I was saying JD. JD thinks Yvette is AI. His eyes are fixed on Yvette, mini.
Very keen.
Brahma, you said partly some people don't really realize that they're damaged.
Sometimes, and this is what happens. They always say, sorry to say this, no offense. Fools don't know if they are fool. But other people are the ones who can see through their decisions and their actions. Sometimes also when you're sick, you might not know when you're sick. So what happens is some people are too damaged to even think about themselves, to even meditate about their own life. The damage is too much. I've met people who are too bitter with opposite genders, both, too bitter with the opposite gender to an extent they cannot even shake hands. Just shaking hand. Imagine how the damage is. So how do you expect such a person to know how damaged they are? Now, what happens in our society, talking from a young person point of view, we live in a society of monkey see, monkey do. You go to these social media, you see people have scripted their lifestyle and relationship, and that's what we want. Then you forget that you have your own life to live. So you forget to do your own soul searching. You forget to meditate upon yourself and know where do you what's your weakness, what's your weak points. If you have anger issues, the same way my colleagues have said here, those are your weaknesses. How do you manage your weaknesses now? And if you meet that person who laughs even when you're angry, how do you manage these people? One thing that my mom told me, and I really still hold on it, is if you want to live well with people, learn and understand them. The moment I understand, for example, this partner of mine is a very selfish person. You don't touch their things without their permission. If you understand these people become angry so fast, you learn to manage their anger. And also, if they're also on their positive side, they should also learn to also understand you and manage you. That helps both of you to heal together. Yeah. Now, you've also come to realize that we've monetized these relationships and this dating and marriage thing to an extent whereby right now, if a girl takes you to their father, the first thing the parents will ask is, what work does he do? Okay, no problem. No problem. But let me drive my point home. But it's they rarely ask about, they rarely investigate or take time to ask their daughter how this man treats her, how this man respects her, how this man reacts when he's angry or a different scenario. So
actually, I think that comes. Inakuanga hapo along the way. After, what does he do?
Just a minute. Yeah. You see, the monetary part takes the biggest part.
Yes.
Right now, if you want to date somebody, you realize that people are being beaten in this relationship. People are suffering in this relationship. But why are they holding on? The lifestyle. It happens. I'm talking from a young person point of view. Okay. These things happen in the society.
Yes.
If you're talking about emotional damage, these things are there. You come to realize people are in marriage 50 years. But the reason why one person cannot walk out is because of the lifestyle.
Just hold on to that thought, yeah? Let's get some feedback. Kalen Karimi anasema, yes, many people are not healing from those relationships. They are moving to the next with this trauma, making it hard for better relationships. Asante Kalen for watching. Jason Vibes anasema, nothing like past trauma, ni mambo na pesa, nothing else. Watatafute pesa, okay. Villaroma anasema, very hard, but we must love again and move on. Now the problem comes in trusting the person. Nick Wafula anasema, 101% tested and approved. We waja tu. Okay. Anasema we waja tu. Sawa Wafula, asante sana. Thank you so much for your feedback, and keep sending them. TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X at TV47 Digital. Remember to tag me so that we can sample them here. WhatsApp as well, 0793267279. Are you a firstborn, JD? Mi nataka kujua how firstborns view relationships, eh?
Hey, what? No.
You know, Bramwell, are you?
No.
Oh, hey. Sisi tu ni my last one. Daktari, you're the only firstborn here.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we cannot really have an opinion on how firstborns view relationships. But JD, you made a point on expectations, and I'd love for you to expand on that, right? That sometimes the expectations that people have on relationships inafanya watu wanaenda hapo and then it fails. So should we go into these relationships without expectations at all? Tuingia hapo just vibes and insuring? What should we do?
No. The thing is, let's just set appropriate models. You know, we keep talking about the negative side of things, you know, and how it is a problem. But have you found someone who is too good?
Hakuna kitu kama too good. Ni wewe ndio uko mbaya.
Have you found someone who simply just, this person, his answers are yes and amen? Because they lack.
That is the law that we serve. Too good.
Because even the Lord is jealous, bwana. Anyway, because they learned that this life that I have lived, I wouldn't want someone else to live. So in them reacting to that, they now become the opposite of what they experienced. And more often than not, they usually get people who take advantage of that. You know, we keep talking about abuse and victims and everything.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, there are people who are suffering emotionally because they don't have the capacity to
love.
No, to reciprocate what they have been experiencing out here, you know. So the thing with expectations is, let's just model correctly. And correctly, varies between people. You know, what is correct loving to you, to Yvette here, is not what is correct loving to me, because it's shaped by also our experiences. You know, if say someone, mimi ni mtu wa many words.
Some are 2 words of affirmation. They love languages that we know. So yours is words of affirmation. Na kwanza niliona daktari ulimwambia, use an example of JD looking nice. And he really smiled.
Itanipeleka mpaka August. Thank you. So, you see, if, say for me, I am someone who loves talking a lot. The words, not necessarily of affirmation, but words generally. And say Yvette here is someone who loves gifts. You'd find that we can clash because her expectation of her being loved will be getting things over and over again. You see? So sometimes when we are modeling our idea of love and our versions of love, you'll find that the agents from which we model are the wrong ones. You know, unataka relationship yako ikuwe kama ya fulani because you saw them work with X. You don't know what happened in that particular category for them to work, regardless of how important this person is to you, you know. And there is nowhere that it's written that because their relationship worked, yours will work in that same manner and fashion, you know. So let's tailor-make our relationships to be, I am dating you. I am not dating your sister. So whatever ideas your sister has of our relationship, albeit in as much as they might be important, should not always apply to what the particular relationship we're in.
Daktari, expectations, are they too high? And I'd love to know for you when you're getting into a relationship with Percy. Percy is the wife, in case you're wondering. When you're getting into this marriage with Percy, were you having any sort of expectations going into this union?
Definitely.
What were your expectations?
You can't go to any relationship without expectation. Because as he said about tailor-making, that is what actually helps to shape that relationship. You have to lay down your expectations. And if they are too far-fetched, then you need somebody to moderate, and that's where a counselor comes in, to help you see the reality. Now, unfortunately, why we have failures is because some people have very high expectations, but they don't voice them. So you keep on living with a person, and they are failing every single day, because according to your mark list, it is you're expecting this, but every day they are delivering this. You wanted roast chicken, but they gave you a burnt offering. So every time they are failing. So
Just too personal.
it's getting personal. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to expectation,
you can relate. You hit a nerve there.
So you'll find your mark list is imagined because you never communicated it. And sometimes somebody can tell you, I cannot be able to deliver that. So I entered my marriage with expectations. Some of them were never voiced. And because they were never voiced, they became disappointment. Some of her expectations of me were also high. And because they were never voiced, they also became disappointment. Until now, in our time, let's, for example, 2 years down the marriage, where issues developed and we had challenges, that we actually had to sit down with a counselor who helped us now to shape our expectations. And so I think expectations are what destroys relationships.
They are good, but they also destroy.
They can be good, but they can also destroy. It is good to have expectations that are realistic, but at the same time also have some high expectation, but not too high, so that when you don't hit it, you don't get too disappointed.
You know, this is something that might be hard for people who have dated people ambao wameweka kwa ile class ya kule juu. You know, now coming down will be quite hard for them. That is now where you'll get into a relationship with this person and they think wewe uko high maintenance.
The vibrations.
Wewe unajua siwezi kukupeleka Maldives every month. I cannot be flying you to Kisumu every week. You know, well.
But you see,
so you know, when now we leave that relationship, that this person flies me out to Kisumu every week, they fly me out of the country thrice a month, every month I am out of the country, then I go into a relationship with JD, na JD ananiambia, you know, hapa what we can afford is KFC every month. You know, now when nikikuweka hapo kwa, no, I want to go to Kisumu every weekend. Sasa hapo anaanza kusema huyu siwezani na yeye. See, now it depends on how somebody ameniweka kwa that level. Exposure is important.
It's your level of exposure.
Now that is what Brahma was saying. We get into this relationship and now rejection becomes hard. And there was a time we were having a conversation here on the show, and we said that men find it hard to deal with rejection. I don't know how women, because women, I think we're not too emotional when it comes to rejection. We can handle it, yeah? Actually, we can. What do you think? Can't you handle rejection? We will cry just for one night. We cry our eyes to sleep, and then kesho tunaamka tuko sawa.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think for us, we really know how to handle rejection, because I believe most women, and even speaking for myself, we don't love forcing issues, especially when a guy tells you no, and you look at the guy, and you're like, oh my God, I am too beautiful for him. It's okay. You're ni kiburi, and then you look at your DM, you're like, but I have other guys. Yes. Other guys will still want me, so why should I hang on here? It's unlike a boy child. A boy child will be like, no, her first no isn't, she doesn't mean it, so let me try again. But for women, we're like,
a no is a no.
A no is a no. It's okay. Let me go.
But then, Dr. you can testify to that. I don't know, because women, you know, if you tell me no, I will not ask you, are you sure?
Yeah.
You know the thing
Come
is...
back again.
No, you see, for men, we are go-getters. So when you put your focus on something that you're getting it, it's like hunting. You see, when a man goes out to hunt, he must come back with an animal he has killed. Now, this is a moment where you have stepped out to go and propose, and you have put all your best foot forward, then you get a no.
Yeah.
That's why it's crashing. Because we are created to pursue and win. So that's why I say it's very important for the ladies who are outside there. I think you need to communicate very early. Don't drive a man to a relationship that will not work. He takes you for the first date, umekula pesa yake yote, amekupeleka ya pili, umekula na ukamuitisha zingine, alafu then after 4 or 5 times you say, it's like this, you know, we are still hunters and gatherers inside us.
Yes.
So it's like you're chasing an animal and you can see it is getting weak now. You're about to catch it. Then when you're about to catch it, it gets another burst of energy and disappears. That's why some men never come back. Even when they used to hunt those days, they never used to come back until they have brought something home, even if it's just a small bird. Yeah. Because they want to prove that I've gotten something. Or they cut a few trees outside there and come back with firewood just to prove they have gotten something. So that's why I'm saying, for men, the reason why it hits so hard when they are told no is because they expected to win. And probably you had led them to thinking they are winning. Then you just cut the expectation short. So ladies outside there, please be careful on how you handle boy child. Tafadhali.
So if you say men are hunters, you know, and if they're told no, ni kama wanataka kubaki uko forest waendelee kuhunt, yeah? Then how would you describe women? Because why is it so easy for us to accept your no? I will go cry kwa kitanda and then nilale, kesho niamke nianze kuona kichwa yako hata ni kibuyu. Then I move on with my life. Then what are we?
You see, that's the thing is, women, the reason why you can handle some situations, you're already created emotionally. So you're able to process your emotions. Now, 3 of us here, if you ask what is the emotion going through us as men right now, we cannot be able to tell you. Probably in the evening we'll tell you. The emotion that I felt in the morning was this. Because our brains are not wired to process emotions so quickly. But right now, if I ask how Yvette is feeling and how Anne is feeling, they will answer you immediately. Immediately, yes. So it is in the same way, when it comes to rejection, you're able to process that, and that's why you're able to cry. But now a man doesn't cry. He cries probably after 2 weeks, when the emotion has actually now settled.
So for you, that feeling is anger.
Yes.
Ama, how do you describe that feeling? Is it anger, Bramwell? Can you deal with rejection? Tuanzie hapo.
Yes, me I can. Dealt with.
What you've dealt with?
Yeah, with a lot of things.
Tuambie your story, because now that is what this show is about.
Okay. in a man's life, you deal with a lot of things: rejection, being broke, going down, and a lot of things. So you see it any big deal, and my colleagues here can tell you, because once a hunter, always a hunter. Expect the bullet to come from any side, the lion to attack you, the mosquito to bite you. So
how many times have you dealt with rejection?
Not so many times.
We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, I know. But let me say something.
Yes.
Men are, in a society, we've created men who are physically strong, but emotionally weak. And that's where now you ladies outsmart us when handling rejection. Because you people are emotionally strong and physically, not being judgmental, but physically less strong. Yeah, so I think that's where now that point comes in of how to handle rejection the way Dr. is trying to break it down. Because now the soft part of it, then this out part which you won't see the tears, but they always say a man's tears goes in their stomach. So you see, it's only that one can be seen, one can't be seen. And I always tell men, if you are disappointed, or if you are heartbroken, or you've lost a business, or you've lost something, or you've lost a loved one, and the way society has put it, we don't cry in public. Go in the shower, open the shower, close the door, just cry. Let the tears mix with the water. Then come back strong again. Go start that business. Go try another. It will work one day. I wanted to mention something before you move on, because you talked about it, about expectation.
And I was coming to that.
About expectation.
If at all, Pia, wewe uko na expectations.
Yeah,
walking
exactly.
into relationships with expectations, and what are they? And if at all, now that you've dealt with rejection before, are these expectations vitu zilifanya ukakuwa rejected, ama just tuambie kila kitu?
Okay.
Unajua hii show tunapendanga real life.
Cool.
Life stories.
Yeah, so also for our listeners, it's good we also share.
Yes.
When it's come to rejection, expectations, I put it together with social media, because this is where most expectations come from. And expectations come from copy-paste, not from what you want from within you. So I'll say let's have realistic expectations first. You give an example of somebody taking this lady, they want to Maldives, then the next day the person B wants to take them to KFC. Me, I always tell people,
that lady is me.
Okay, that lady, no problem. It's good. It's good to have expectations. That's your standard. It's good to have standards as well. But this is also one thing I always say. Before I come with those expectations, what have I done to myself? Can I take myself to that Maldives? Can I buy myself that thing? Because you see, we should not also have expectations on people's expenses and wallet and sweat. That's where now disappointments come in. Then the rejection, and then you feel like people, there's no real love, because you have a certain type description of emotion and love and how you need to be satisfied and to be stimulated, and then you want to put it in somebody else, and their way of expressing love is totally different. So also have realistic expectation. You've asked about some expectation I might have or I had. Yeah?
Yes.
So first, one thing I always say is come clean. Come clean, I means move on. If you had family issues, personal issues, your exes and etc., after the disappointment or the break or the marriages, whatever has happened, first take your time alone. Meditate, think over it, pray over it, heal, look for a counselor. Doctor is here.
Yes.
Look for maybe somebody you feel is a safe space. Talk with them. Go have your own space with the birds and the music, or maybe the river.
Go touch grass.
Go touch grass, exactly. Connect with earth, then be free. The moment you are clean and free, when now you are coming to the next person, it's easy for you to love again. If we walk with this damage, the problem is we walk with these damages. I come into your life, already I'm still having one to
you
three
have
with
some
my
healing
ex.
to do.
Also, yeah.
Hold on to that thought, yeah? So that you can listen to what our viewers are also saying. Let's have them.
Good morning, TV47 breakfast show with Ann Odida and friend Dimoli. And on today's topic on whether past trauma and heartbreak are making it harder for people today to build sustainable, healthy relationships. And I say yes. Most times people are not yet healed from their previous relationship. They carry those scars to a new relationship. What this does is it is prejudicial in the fact that I have not healed, And so I might end up bringing my past trauma to my other partner, e.g. insecurities and trust issues. Thank you very much. And for reference, I go by Regan Juma.
People happen to go through this trauma, heartbreak, but later then they find themselves falling in love again, and that actually gives them a sense of to be more careful in this new.
Yes, I think past traumas and heartbreaks are making it harder for people to build healthy relationship. Now, as you find, so many people are not healing from those relationships, the past traumas. So it becomes hard for them to have healthy relationship. They'll go about taking the past traumas in this other relationship. That is where you're finding so many incidences, even of killing, of gender-based violence, because so many people have past traumas. They have that trauma, so making it hard for people to have and sustain those healthy relationships. So basically, people need to heal before going for other relationship. And you find so many people move from one relationship even without healing to another. So it becomes hard for them to sustain those healthy relationships.
All right, thank you so much for your feedback, and of course we do encourage you to keep them coming. Sana sana hapo WhatsApp, lakini ukituma tafadhali jamani, tuweke at an angle. 45 degrees is a very good angle to record your voice note. So 0793-267-279 is the WhatsApp number. Asante sana for that. Yvette,
Yes.
this issue of expectations, wewe ukiingia kwa relationship, what are your expectations? Mkiniuliza yangu pia nitawaambia, but wacha tusikie Yvette.
Let me begin by saying expectations just have to be there because I know the kind of man I want.
Yes.
And so me, I'll tell you from the first date. So that when you go in your own time, if you cannot meet them, you just know.
Yeah.
But for me, my expectations, even as I am with this love of my life, or my man,
Yes.
I expect this man to trust me. Me never trust. Because if you cannot trust me, I don't love insecure guys. You're always doubting me because I'm a person who interacts with so many people, and I am a lover girl. You'll see me with this guy like this, like this.
The social butterfly.
Exactly. So that's why me, trust is really key, because I wouldn't want you to feel that I don't love you or I'm too, with guys, because that's just me. I love them in another level, not the way I love you.
Yeah.
Another expectation for me is money. I would like money. Money matters. And
unajua wamesema that right now relationships are very transactional.
Yeah.
Is it as women who are making it transactional? Are we the ones making it hard for this men to love us?
I will say to some extent, yes. The pressure from society. There's one person who talked about people who script their lives online. And so you see, especially the young ladies right now, if you're to ask them, and even these people on TikTok who just do interviews of what kind of a man do you want, or what are they, utasikia mtu anasema pesa kwanza. Kama ana pesa, simtaki. So you see, most people are saying this because society has made it, a lady, please go to a relationship with a man who has money. But me, even as I'm putting this expectation, it's because on my end, I have money. So if you
Yes,
I have money to some extent.
Yeah.
So obviously,
You're
if you're
coming with your money.
Exactly, with my money. Your data looks a money 50-50, ni sawa. No big deal.
Can you do 50-50?
I would say a deal as a lipa bill kana kupenda. So, but
Hey,
no.
Your
Let me not
healing will
put
be level. I said we shall be there.
it was just a joke. But I would say this. I'm coming as an independent woman. And so I'm expecting you also as a man to be a vision, even if you don't have money to some extent. But is your vision speaking money? You know, there's a point of vision speaking money. I can see from how you talk, okay, right now you don't look like it.
Yeah.
But the future, where we are going together, you will really bring a lot of returns in the house,
Yeah.
you know. So my other expectation, be a visionaire, you know. Have a vision that I am able to fit in your vision, and I am able to be a part of it and even make you a better person, you know. So me, those are my, I only have 3 expectations: trust, vision, and money.
Very simple girl.
Very
JD
simple.
thinks you're AI, wallah. JD, what does a healthy relationship look like to you and for you?
Okay. For me or to me, a healthy relationship. First of all, acha tuseme trust ni kampuni. And and what happens is, you see, usually we meet people at the level of our exposure, you know. So, number one, self-awareness is very key. Yeah. No, this is, I can model, I can push myself up to this. Na kuna mahali hata ukiniskuma sipiti. You know. And you see, the problem is, again, we are trying to be modern people with traditional perspectives. You know. I'm trying to look for someone who can take care of me the way my mother used to take care of me.
Allah, now women will tell you go and date your mother. Nakwambia hivyo jamani, sababu nimeona these conversations online. I'm came across so many tweets that say, I want a woman who cooks the way my mother cooks.
Yes.
Go back to your mother.
Mama's boy.
And that is the same way. There are people who are looking for people who will take care of them the way their father used to take care of them. You know, utasikia, kwetu baba yangu afanyangi hivyo. You see, especially if you come from a place or a situation where mtu hajakuwa really exposed to the person he's dealing with. Remember, you're dealing with, say, a 20-something, someone in their late 20s, who in this economy has not yet even started materializing. The best they can have is vision, you know. And even if, in as far as vision goes, japatana na wanasiasa, you know, kuna wanasiasa pia kwa relationship.
Wewe.
Ukinichagua.
Koma kabisa.
You know. So, at the end of the day, it's all about you. You and
what you want.
Yes, because you're the one who's getting into this relationship.
Let's hear from Bramwell as well. A healthy relationships, now that we're asking, are we too emotionally damaged to sustain healthy relationships? What does this healthy relationship look like? Kwako.
I'll start with where JD has left. JD has said that, and you're on his neck.
Like a counter.
He said that he loves somebody who will love or treat him or love him the same way the mother used to. Example. I'm just using the example. I'm copy-pasting your words.
I'm clarifying.
I'm copy-pasting your words. So don't worry, Joseph. So this one thing, just my thinking is, even if you say that these girls will tell you, go and marry your mother, do you know that most of these things, we just switch sides?
Yes.
Because what your dad used to do to you, there's higher chances that the things I'm supposed to do to you, for you to feel you are my wife. Most of the things your mom used to do to this boy is, there's higher chances, 80%, 70%, the things that this lady should do to this guy to feel loved.
So this is the emotional damage you're talking about?
Just relax.
Okay.
But you see, this is a positive lane. I'm still on JD's way. Because if your father used to protect, provide, take care of you, and give you the safe space, a home, and that's what men are expected to be doing. I don't expect you to be weak and being there crying, the same way we say this thing of men. We are not the same way the society has put it. The same way, if my mom used to feed me, cook, make sure our home is warm for all of us. She's our safe space. We can talk with her, laugh with her, do all these things. The same way also my woman should supposed to be, because if you can cook for the family, make sure you know what your kids are eating, what your husband is eating. Because you come to realize that we are in a situation whereby maids know your husband more than you know him. And maybe even the other way around. The other caretaker or the other person knows your wife more than even how you know. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's breaking a lot of things, and damage is causing even now more damage than we can think. So I don't think I can say that. Is in one way, it's also, there's no problem with his expectation, of which I agree. People who have expectation of people loving them the way they saw their parents, the model. One thing I can say also is, if you are picking positive things from your parents, there's no problem. I don't think if there's a problem with that. But don't pick the wrong things. If your dad used to fight, if your dad used to be chaotic, don't do that.
Yeah.
If your mom used to be rude, if your mom used to use utter bad, don't do that. Just pick the good and also add with your good ones. At least that will also create a very harmonious society. Then you'll have a very beautiful society.
Right.
Lastly, we have, if you come to realize, bitter people are the loudest. Yeah. Bitter people are the loudest and broken people are the loudest. Go to this social media platform. You come to realize people with, and I don't judge them, people with bitter hearts or failed marriages are the ones who are shouting the loudest. How, baby girl, you should not respect a man should not tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And also men on this side, they're coming with the toxic information.
Yeah.
Don't take care of a girl, don't buy him, don't do 1, 2, 3. You've seen those advisors. They're all there. So also consume something that is healthy to you. Don't just consume all this information. Yeah, pick something that is healthy. Don't pick things also from damaged and bitter people and angry people. And that's what is going on social media. If you come to realize, most happily married women are quiet. They're enjoying their marriage. They're driving big cars out here. They are investing, thinking of where will I take my kids? How is my husband looking before he leaves the house? What will make my wife happy? Has my wife done her hair? You know, etc. Those are happy people. They don't have time to come here and start telling you don't do this because they're busy.
I think I will give you permission to judge them.
So lastly, I'll say you've talked about high expectations. There's also something we need to consider, and this is now self-reflection. Sometimes people who seem to have standards or expect high things, they don't deserve those things. Yeah, I can give you a Mercedes, but you don't have money to pay the insurance. You don't have money to fuel it. You don't have money. You don't have a driving license.
See, you will pay for that insurance.
You have to work on yourself first. This rich, tall, dark, handsome man or this beautiful lady you want. Are you ready for this lady? Prepare yourself mentally, psychologically, physically, financially, etc. Thank you.
Amazing. Daktari, we've all heard of these expectations. Do you think they're too high? Ama ziko tu sawa?
You see, everybody has got their expectation.
Yeah.
And in the world, you'll find there's somebody to meet that expectation.
Exactly.
Now, your assignment, is to locate that person. Number 2, I think you have said something very powerful. If you go to every supermarket, every shop, there is a price tag on everything that you want to. That means that the higher the price, the more value has been placed on that thing. So you yourself, what price tag do you have on you that you are demanding from others? So make your brand. If you want to a lover boy or a lover girl, be ready also to love. If you want somebody who has money, and I like what she said, if you want just to be taken out, also have your own money. Because you might be taken out, and then maybe ilikuwa si ya ukweli, ile pesa ni ya kukopa ishie huko. Ukwame huko. So you need also to have money enough. So I think for all of us, as I said from the beginning, there is an emotional issue with all of us. And counseling sometimes will bring it out. I lecture for an American university known as Fulbright Theological, and I teach biblical counseling. And I was challenging pastors who are there. We need to stop just counseling, giving 6 topics on how to handle marriage. Marriage is not a takeoff. It requires to take off. It requires for that plane to continue flying. When there is turbulence, you need to know how to handle that turbulence and also landing. Now, most of us are taught on how to take off, how to handle finances, how to love your man or love your woman, how to handle in-laws. But when the challenges of life come, sometimes, and God forbid, a child may die, a parent may die, somebody may lose a job, relocation may happen. How do you handle all those issues? So counseling needs to be broad-based. That in such a way, siasa, broad-based.
I see what you did there.
In such a way that when you sit down for that counseling, let there be a serious analysis and help those people to be able to see the whole picture of life. Today we have apps that are making us know how will Anne or Julius or Bramwell or Yvette or JD will look when they are 70. You need to some of us get married. I find a man gets married. Now he sees the wife anakaa hivi and expect atakaa hivyo for life. ulimari jamaa akiwa na afro kama JD, then kumbe genetics zina vipara kwao. So you need to see all that so that you are ready for it. So I say preparation, preparation and self-analysis of what have I gone through in life.
Daktari, what is your assessment of this statement that sometimes, and I know it's vice versa, that men would want to be treated the way their mothers treated them, or maybe women would also want to be treated the way their fathers treated them. What do you make of that?
Psychologically, the mother represents the first girlfriend to a man.
First girlfriend?
First girlfriend.
Not wife.
Not wife. So the boy is actually looking. If that woman was too harsh, then that man may end up looking for a woman who is as harsh as the mother, or look for somebody who is softer beyond than the mother. And that's why you find you don't choose very far away from that. The same thing when it comes to a girl, and that's why you say fathers have to be present also, especially for ladies. The father represents the first boyfriend. And that's why you find most girls will marry people who are like their father, or marry people who are opposite their father. And so the question here is not about the girl and the man. It is about the parents. I always ask this question, and I've seen it asked before. Would you, if your daughter was to marry somebody, would you want them to marry somebody like you? If your answer is no, change your ways.
Work on yourself. Change your parish.
Change. And for the same as a woman, you need to ask yourself, would you want your son to marry somebody like you? If your answer is no, then change the way you are handling that boy. Because one day he will look at a person, and when you find somebody saying, I don't like the way my mother did, my mother, you see you carry that bitterness inside you, you may end up falling for the same kind of a person who was just disguising to be good. So parents who are listening, you are modeling something for your kids, and you will make them choose wrong or choose right.
You know, Daktari made a point that sometimes in relationships, there will be times when you don't see eye to eye. There's a lot of disagreement. But Yvette, in terms of a disagreement for you, what should not be said to you? What can I not say when we are in an argument?
Okay, for me, don't shout. I know it's very tough on the male child, because most of them in the heat of the moment they shout. But for me, immediately you shout, it triggers me. I'll just start crying. And for me, that one is something that hurts me deep, kabisa. I will look at you and I'm crying. So this is something that I believe people should learn to have the most uncomfortable conversations as you're dating. Let this other person know your triggers, also get to know their triggers. Because every relationship has that season of turbulence. So that even when you reach that point, everyone anakumbuka, my love, if I say this to her, this one would really take this to another level. So it causes the other party to calm down once they know, if I shout at it, it will hurt her. Or if I walk away from her, or I walk away from this person, to just, because some men hawapendi kelele. You know, that's what I had. But also I have seen it in a person.
I am the man mwenye hapendi kelele.
Yeah, because most of them don't love, you know, and now women, especially in the heat of the moment, we want to win that argument. We will do everything, you see. But for some men will just walk away to avoid more issues. And for another lady it will be disrespectful. Why has he just walked out? Or why has he just remained silent and everything? So I think when people get to have the most uncomfortable conversation, and I love to say this, people are emotionally damaged because they don't even know what is love. I love how God puts it in 1 Corinthians 13. He actually begins by saying, love is patient and kind. And patient is something that people are lacking even as they are dating. And we see this when people argue or they get into disagreements. No one wants to accept that they are wrong. Everyone wants, me, I'm right. He's also right. So you cannot even reach that point of agreeing. And I believe let us address these issues. Don't just be going out to have coffee and to go for vacations and all those things. Can we actually sit down and you tell me, by the way, mi nikikosea, what will you do? Or what are your triggers? Tell me, because this is where healing will come. I will know, by the way, indio kamba sifai kukanyaga hapa, or this is not the extent I should reach. You see, so I believe communication will really help to solve issues in a relationship.
JD, what can't be said to you in in a heated moment?
Yvette ni AI, walai. Now, see, what happens is, okay, personally, tuachie drama telenovela, kindly. Tuache tu. Drama, let's leave it for telenovelas. We will watch it as movies and we will pity those people and we'll say, wow, and that will end there. But, you know, the thing is, regardless of our gender differences, we are adults. You know, and sometimes you might not communicate there and then. We all have our ways of processing whatever it is that is going on. But at the end of the day, let's not balloon something that was so minute to become a mountain. Or let's avoid dragging unnecessary attention to a particular situation. Najua? No, if you're a performer, please just go perform.
For example, I'm telling you, why did you pour water on the floor? Ukayacha hapo, ukaenda. You don't want us to escalate that?
No, you see? Okay, nimemwaga maji. Sawa.
Yes. Why did you not mop it?
Now, the problem is, with women, it is never about the water. Or at least with the women I have experienced, it is never about the water.
Yes.
Utakumbushwa dhambi ilifanya 1976.
Change your women.
July 13 at 7:30 p.m. You see? So what ends up happening is, it now, you first have that collection of sins that you have to atone for. Number two, there are people even who go to such an extent to transcribing those sins as a reflection of who you are personally.
Yes.
Mimi sijaipatana na mwanaume disorganized kama wewe. You know? So it has now started to transpose onto your character and your character traits and everything. So you find that all these issues were just about water. You know, more piko pale, naweza enda nichukue.
Mbona hukuchukua? Bravo, what can't we say to you during an argument?
I love that part of mbona hukuchukua. I think for me, I'll start with to answer your question. I took my time to heal from a lot of things. Yeah, from a lot of things, family, myself, and a lot of things. So I have this self-awareness in me. So my conscience is clear before I do something. And I know I'm not perfect. There's some things I might do knowingly or unknowingly. So if I do those things unknowingly, which is in most cases, just tell me in a very humble and polite way. I promise you I'll change. I promise you I'll adjust. That's one thing I'll do.
Ukishautia Yvette.
No, I'm not shouting. I'm saying, see, now you said
knowingly.
You said there are things, I will shout. That will not, I've told you I've taken my time to heal, so I will not shout to you.
Okay.
That won't be part of me. The person who shouts, the person who fights, the person who throws, bado kuna kitu iko ndani yao. But me, I've told you I took my time to. So I know the things, some of the things that I might be guilty of are kuwacha maji, cupboard, you know, nilisahau. Exactly, you know, time. Sometimes I was held up somewhere, then I was supposed to come and take you somewhere, and the time haijaingiana vizuri, you know, alafu umejam. So what happens is, the way I am right now, the only thing I'll request from the other person is just tell me in the right way and just be polite. The moment you start using abusive language, you've crossed the line and we are going nowhere with that. EO, full stop, dead. Close that chapter, out of the way. So just be humble, speak, express yourself in a polite, respectful way. I will listen to you. I will adjust. There are some things that you found me doing that will take me time to adjust. And also there's some things I found you doing which will take time to adjust. And that's why now we must talk. Let's learn to communicate. The biggest problem we've had, and I've come to realize, we don't communicate. We only expect. We only have the answers and what should be done in our head. So learn to teach the other person how to communicate with you. Your language. Let's vibrate together. So learn to teach a person, if at all you feel something is not comfortable with you, show me this way. I'll listen to you. Yeah, wait for me this moment. You see, the moment I learn that from you, you learn that from me, we will never be in that scenario.
It's giving you Yvette usinishautie, don't shout at me. So you and Bramwell and Yvette.
Same was up.
Same was up. Daktari, tufunze, yeah? 25 years right now, what can't be said to you, during a fight? Ni nini hiyo ina trigger something in you that, takes you back in time and say, hapa tunavuka line?
I like what JD said. History. You see, history shows that you've not, there are things you are still carrying.
Yeah.
If you're talking 10 years ago, that means you're still carrying history. And what happens is that marriage cannot progress because you're living 10 years back. So you either have to handle that situation and finish it. Number two, there are things like now you've said, why did you pour this water down?
Yeah, you left it there. It's good. It's okay to pour.
You see, that's
the
a question.
The problem is living in there.
That's a nice question. Yeah. And probably I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. Yeah. So the thing is, I would prefer you, instead of asking questions, why don't you prefer solutions? Tafadhali, next time wacha kumwaga maji hapa. Kwa sababu hii si nzuri inanikasirisha.
Daktari, sometimes inafika wakati it's something that's imekuwa repeated.
Let me give you an example. And my wife's talked about it a lot.
Yes.
When we got married, of course, we were not where we are today. So most of the showers, it would be from a basin. So I would leave water and she would pour it out and she would be like, why have you left this? And sincerely, I never used to pour it out.
Yeah, hata sasa kumaanisha hiyo besheni uoshi.
That's the reality.
Oh my goodness.
And that was a long time. And because where I grew up, we were like, maji wacha tu ikae kidogo, utaimwaga kwa choo kwa baadaye. So this question, every time you're asked, why have you left this?
Yeah.
I could not even remember that the reason why I left this is because that's the way I grew up. Because you are saving water for something else. So the thing is, she started doing it and pouring water away. And she would say, please do it this way. And I caught up with the system. So there are some things you just don't, if I'm repeating it, find out why. And then if you can help me do it, that's you are a helper.
Find out why?
Find out why. Sometimes you need to find out why. Why does your wife cook food this way? Then you can help her.
Labda ni mwenda wazimu. Something about repeating myself doesn't.
Let me tell you, marriage, patience. If you can't handle some things, let me tell you, couples have broken up. Hii story tunasikiaga hapa tunasikia ni kama mchezo. Couples have broken up because of toothbrush and toothpaste. Unaifinyia hapa. Somebody who just gets so angry because alipata toothpaste imefinywa katikati.
Yes.
And they can't handle it anymore. But it takes patience. So you'll find another man who comes home and just throws socks on the floor. Because he has lived alone for the last 25 years. In fact, I went to visit one guy.
Yes.
And I hope he's not watching, but it was many years ago. It was a college mate.
Yes.
He had a mattress of clothes. I mean, every cloth he removes anaweka kwa floor. So now you can imagine when he gets married, what kind of baggage is coming in with that?
No, we hope.
Now, and that is where a helper is needed. And so that's why I say, having a solid communication, talking about the things that you don't like.
Daktari, that is why helper is needed to pick somebody who wants to put up a pile of clothes. Let's hear what our viewers are saying. 0793267279 is our WhatsApp line. Let's listen in.
Good morning, TV47 breakfast show with Ann Odida and Fred Dimoli. And on today's question on trauma and its effect to a healthy relationship, yes, trauma and heartbreak are making it harder for people today to build sustainable, healthy relationships. People are not yet healed when they exit relationships. They carry this heartbreak and trauma to the next. There won't be trust. There won't be love. They'll just be thinking maybe it's just for some time, then we go back to the old habits. So I think before people move to the next relationships, we need to heal so that we can be able to have a healthier relationship. Thank you.
So much for that voice note. Keep on sending them 0793267279. Once again, that's our WhatsApp line. Yvette ulisema point fulani that you know we need to create some boundaries, that hii kamba sifai kukanyaga hii line. But now what happens when we're in the heat of the moment and then these boundaries are crossed and then I shout at you? What happens in that case? Because saa zingine mtu asira ikiwa huko juu akumbuki, you know, that Yvette hapendi kuambiwa hata hiyo nywele uko na mwanya kwa meno. Yours is beautiful. But that is an example. But now what happens when these boundaries are crossed?
Okay. Being a believer in God, I will just echo what the word of God says. Because yes, in every relationship, there are moments when boundaries are crossed. We just have to understand that. There are moments when this person won't even remember, by the way, tukide tu alisema nisivuke impaka, you know. And I love what, I think it's Bramwell who said about people are not emotionally prepared. You see, as you're setting your boundaries and telling your person these boundaries, you should also note something. You should also build, okay, what if this is broken? What if this expectation is not met? What if this line is crossed? Because it will happen. How do I deal with it? So you should also have when that situation happens, how do I react? Because I can't leave a relationship because a person has shouted at me. Yes, it's my trigger. Yeah. But I can't leave this person. You know, the word of God says love bears all things, endures all things. And so for me, having that mindset of what God says and looking at how God has loved on me, hakuna place Mungu anatuachanga na hadi tukitana away.
You will enjoy even cheating.
No, I'm coming there. I'm coming there. What I'm trying to say,
I wouldn't.
Wait, there are things obviously that are too much that I cannot sustain. But what I'm trying to say is we need to be reasonable on some things. If a person does, we just need to reason. You see, even God says, "Come, let us reason together." Okay, you cross this line. Can we reason together? I will allow you to calm down. Nimelia, imeisha. Okay. I will tell you communication, what we have been saying here. You did this. You forgot I hate this. Because at times, mneza argue hadi asahau amekuumiza. And you know, for some ladies, they'll just be quiet. Mtu ametoka job, amekuja, anakuza wapi safa. Unamka unaenda bedroom. So mtu anashanga, mbona hujanipikia? Na kumbe uko like, this person crossed the boundary, so they have to pay. But you have not communicated. And so even them, they'll feel disrespected. So for me, when you cross the line, nitangoja mambo itulie. Then we communicate and I'll tell you,
it has to be addressed.
Yeah, it has to. For me, we have to address it, because if I don't, it will be repeated. And for him, the other party, the way Pasi was saying, that at times, ata kumbuka hadi, you know. So if you don't address it, it will be repeated. It will be repeated. It will be repeated over and over again. Na wewe unaumia na umeamua, mimi siwezi mwambia, he must realize. The next thing, the woman atapaka utakuja home pale mtu ameenda.
We are winding up. And JD now, is there justification for blowing off, you know, at your partner during a heated argument? We're talking about sustaining healthy relationships. No. Is there justification for that?
No, not at all. Because this is why. You see, when you're blowing off, it is you spilling over. You know, think of it as milk. Maziwa ndio ifike mahali inamwagika. It did not start boiling at that point. You know. So the thing is, something happened. You let it slide. You swept it under the rug. Then something happened again and again and again, and then it got to a point you're blowing off. That is one. Either that or something happened that shook the foundations of who you are so much that you find yourself blowing off. You know. So there is no justification at all.
Umekataa hiyo. Asikushautie?
Yvette ndo alisema.
Bramwell, How do we now begin to unlearn these emotional damages that people are walking into relationships with?
Okay, thank you. First, I'll say...
in 1 minute.
Yeah, first, self-reflection. Take your time. Know yourself, understand yourself, understand Anne who is angry, Anne who is happy, Anne who is damaged. How will Anne exit the space if the room is too hot? Have those tactics in place. 1, 2, seek counsel. Yeah, you're not too perfect, seek counsel. 3, communicate. When you communicate, you understand, you learn, you unlearn. Also pray. In fact, I could have started with that. Life is very spiritual, pray. Another thing I'll say, let's be these people who could embrace and teach each other. Because I believe when you come to my life, you had different life experience, upbringing, education experience, maybe relationship experience if you had. So teach me, adjust to what is happening right now. I should also adjust to you. So teach me your ways, I teach you my ways.
Lovely. Daktari, speaking of counseling and therapy, are we taking counseling seriously, and of course therapy pia? Are we taking these things seriously, Kweli?
Not.
Ama, we are not taking them seriously because they're not working.
We come to counseling when we are very wounded, and sometimes it is too late. It's. I would say this: instead of going to the doctor when you are sick, why don't you first visit a nutritionist? Akuambie vile utaishi. Visit a trainer who will tell you which exercises to do. So if you, by the time you are getting wounded, you go to the doctor, they are able to treat less because you took care. And I challenge everyone that is listening, before you get into any marriage, tafadhali, tafuta hata kama ni free counselor. Takaa chini mwambie, nipatie mawazo ya hii na hii na hii. That will help. Yes.
That is a nutritionist of relationships.
Yes.
And I know in marriage they say forever, the rest of our lives. And I think the rest of our lives is a very long time for
it's a
people
long
to
time.
be in constant strife, right? Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Yvette, Pasi, Dr. Julius Kimani hapo, Bramwell, and of course JD, for making time this morning for us to have this conversation. Kumenyesha kwenye mmetoka?
Yeah.
I wanted to say thank you for kumenyesha? Thank you for braving the rain. I hope hujanyeshewa. All right, we've come to the end of this conversation, but let's continue online. Are we emotionally damaged to sustain healthy relationships? TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube on X at TV47 Digital. Keep on tagging me at Ann_Odida. Our WhatsApp line is also active, 24/7. I'll check tomorrow morning, 0793-267-279. Like when nimeachia hapo, I'll see you tomorrow bright and early. My name is Ann Odida. Good morning and enjoy the rest of your day.